to talk about Pathmark. We are much rather here to speak to Michael Saad, the CEO and co-founder, or founder, I should say, not co-founder, CEO and founder of Digital 1010. And basically, yeah, we are very curious what the team is doing over there, and how they're looking at being able to grow businesses online. So, Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So tell us all about the company. What is it all about?
So Digital1010 is a full-service advertising agency. We help businesses of all sizes, from small mom and pops to Fortune 500s, kind of navigate the digital realm, so to speak. And we do a little bit of everything from web design to concierge services, technical automations, and marketing strategy, as well as coaching.
Very nice. I see your website has a very unique touch. I really like that. It's not your average advertising agency. I really like that.
Yeah, and we try to really present ourselves in a way that customers know that their business is unique. You know, we're unique. We take every approach or every attempt to approach each business as if it is its own entity. So there is no blanket strategy. We try not to use themes. You know, we try to drive, to your point earlier, the conversation regarding conversions in a way that it comes from analytics and data, and not necessarily from a warm, fuzzy feeling that we have inside.
Yep, very good. Yeah, we're probably going to talk about that today. But tell us, what are the types of companies or businesses that you guys work with?
So we work with a wide range of businesses, from publication sites to law firms and service providers, doctors, and things of that nature. We help a lot of e-commerce based businesses really kind of take the first step into scaling, because some businesses, while they do great, they don't really find consistency because they're doing 100 things. And we try to help tailor some of that so that they can focus their efforts on things that really will benefit their business, so that they're not thinking about everything, they're thinking about the right things, really.
Okay, really good. So those types of, is there certain verticals? I'm just curious, is there certain verticals that you would be working primarily with? Is there certain types of businesses? Anything that is maybe standing out?
Not necessarily. So the way that we work, and in most cases, is, you know, we go through kind of a research and discovery phase with our clients, right, to see if we're a good fit for them and if they're a good fit for us. While we help all different types of businesses, most businesses that we help are generally in that, you know, 500,000 to $1 million and greater revenue streams. So we try not to say, hey, you have this type of business, we can't help you, because that's not necessarily how marketing and advertising works, right? What we focus on is our expertise. We are experts in intent-based marketing, in design, in development, and that's what we bring to the table. So if customers are looking for those services, then those are the things that we excel at and we would love to help. So we try not to say, hey, because you do X, we don't necessarily service your niche, because again, I think in terms of growing a business, while it's easy to scale for verticals, you know, if you're just doing law firms or if you're just doing publication sites, but you also run into that scenario where strategies start to become consistent because you're only thinking about the same things. So that's kind of our approach. You know, we focus on what we do really well, and we tell clients up front, like, this is what we do. And if that's what you want, then great, we can service you. And if it's not what you want, then we'll point you in a direction that hopefully can better fit your needs.
Very good. How do clients usually find the way to Digital 1010? Like, what's the typical user journey until they end up working with you?
So we have a few different ways that we do outreach. You know, obviously we would present an omni-channel marketing strategy to most businesses, but we've found that focusing on intent through intent-based advertising, whether it's through paid ads and or partnerships, such as, you know, these types of conversations, have really worked best for us. You know, we do a lot of online trainings with other businesses, whether they be, you know, within the same niche or a shoulder niche compared to what we do. regarding intent-based marketing. How do you actually get to that phase, right? Because most people are stuck in the track where they see a shiny ball and they follow it, right? So Facebook for a long time was the shiny ball, but when you start to look at it at face value, Facebook has its time and place in an omni-channel marketing presence. Not necessarily great to drive intent, because most people that go to Facebook are going for social reasons, not for the intent to purchase a product or service, right?
Yep. Yep. Any intent-based platforms that maybe are a little bit under the radar that you feel are really important?
So, obviously there's always new platforms coming and going. TikTok has obviously been something that people are going towards. That's not necessarily a place where you're, again, going to find intent. So we try to keep it simple. Start with Google. Focus your efforts on a really strategic campaign based on where you see the most revenue, so that that your cost per conversion will actually be less than what your generated revenue will be. And then follow it up with a strategic remarketing campaign through your social platforms. So, when they've gone to the site through a search campaign, left, maybe they didn't take an action, they went to your social media platform, to their social media platforms, whether it be Facebook or Instagram. And at that point, we have the opportunity to serve them better ads based on their previous engagement, right? So we'll set up different video strategies, whether they've watched a specific amount of time of a video, so that they see the next video in the series, hopefully getting them down that CDF, that consumer disposition funnel, to where they become that purchaser and then eventually the loyalist that we're really looking for.
Yeah, very interesting. What role does your website play in that overall journey of getting to, know Digital 1010? Is it an very important part in the funnel or the journey, or how would you describe that?
So yeah, it's definitely a conduit to bringing them to a better sense of awareness and consideration. Once they've gone to the website, they have a better idea of the different types of projects that we worked on and things like that. And actually our website is in the process of evolving, because, as time goes, things change, right? So while we, in the beginning, we still are always focusing on intent-based marketing, we're really looking at other ways to better serve clients. And that comes through concierge services, whether it be through setting up automation campaigns or helping them manage the day-to-day with their website, because websites are never done. You probably know that there are always ways to improve your conversion rate, your time on page, your bounce rate. There are always ways to get people from, your homepage to that place where they're like, yes, this is the person for me, brand for me, product for me, whatever the scenario might be. And that doesn't always happen through a landing page, right? So when we start to design our campaigns, obviously in the upfront, we are driving those cold traffic, intent-based people from search to a landing page, very, very focused, hyper-specific about whatever it is that they were searching for. But there are those scenarios where they leave, right? They don't always take that action. And what do? They then go and search for you. So wherever it is that they're searching, whether it be social or through the website, it's good to have that evolution and that ability to kind of show them that, hey, things have changed over time and we're part of that change.
Very good. Can you tell me how you're thinking about maybe for your clients about winning more leads or more, phone numbers, whatever it is, the goal, your clients have? How do you support them there? And what have you been seeing that is really important to actually, not just generate traffic, but generate clients?
Versions. So there, for us, it's a two-part scenario, right? So one part is, how do we get traffic to the site or to the landing page, wherever it is that we're trying to get these conversions? And then part two is, what are they doing when they get there, right? So how are we testing what they're doing when they get there? Are we utilizing A/B test? Are we utilizing heat maps? Are we recording the visitor traffic to see how they're actually engaging with the pages? Mm-hmm. Those are the questions that we start to ask clients when they come to us saying, hey, we want to increase conversions, but we don't really know how. right?
Just
So we take a step back and we say, okay, well, how are you driving traffic? How are you recording what that traffic is doing when they get there? And what are you testing it against, right? What are your benchmarks? How do you know that this is actually successful? Because at face value, and it sucks to even say this, a lot of marketers have done a good job presenting vanity numbers as success. You know, impressions served and blah, blah. Like, come on. You know, to somebody who actually cares about conversion rate optimization, while it's great to know that my ads were seen a million times, if nobody's taking any action for that ad, is it really doing its job? You know, like, our billboards that you drive by on the highway, are they really doing their job? Are people really making those phone calls and becoming clients and purchasing products and going to restaurants because of that? You know, that's where we start to kind of question everything that's happened in the past for our clients and how we direct them moving forward. Because if they can't answer those questions, then it's very clear, you know, what we have to do, right? We start from the beginning, setting up tracking and analytics. We go into installing the heat mapping tools. We start to outline what their conversions look like currently and what goals we have for them, you know, in the next 30, 60, and 90 days. And then we start to set up tests regarding what we're actually looking to achieve. So it's just a matter of understanding what the initial goal is for the client, for us to be able to step back and say, okay, I understand where you came from, and I understand the direction you're trying to take. So this is our initial strategy and what we're looking to test. And this is how we're going to go about it, whether it's, you know, tactically, you know, you need to know what platforms we're working on or whatever it is. We'll start to go down those
Just
scenarios.
a small follow-up question on that before we're jumping into the next question here. You mentioned they come to you and talk about conversions. I'm just so curious, do they actually use the word like conversions and conversion rate? Like, is it a concept they come with you?
No. They're more in the lines of, I need clients, I need sales, I need to figure out how not to lose my business. You know, I mean, most people that come to us, you know, and it's different, you know, like I said, we don't really focus on any one specific niche. So when we have small lawyers, they come to us and they say, hey, Mike, you know, I need leads. I don't want to be an ambulance chaser, and I don't know how to grow my business. The first thing I ask them is, okay, you know, how have you been getting your leads in the past? What's your intake process look like? And when you ask them, what's your intake process look like, you know, that means from point of contact to becoming your paid client, what are they doing? Just like you asked me, how are they engaging with your receptionist? Are they speaking to a PA? During the call, are you giving them actual advice, or are you just allowing them to speak about their issues? Are you agitating it to figure out what the worst possible solution or scenario could be, and then inserting yourself as the solution to that worst possible scenario? Because if you're not doing that, obviously you're losing calls, and that's all part of the intake process. So we try to understand what it is that's actually happening so that we can go and recommend things that they should be changing or looking at. So while they may not be saying conversion rate, conversions, they are saying we need more business. Yep. We need to grow our business, and we don't know how to do it.
How far into lead qualification do you go then? Like, do you help them to set up processes, tools to, you know, optimize that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really depends, again, on their level of engagement with us, what they have and what they want to do, and what their finances are. Now, we always outline a strategy so that our customers could go and do it on their own. When you come and sit down and talk to me and we go through a coaching session or a strategy session, at the end of it, I want you to understand that it's very doable on your own. Now, you are a lawyer, a doctor, a HVAC tech, a plumber, whatever it is, right? You're a service provider. You're not necessarily a marketing expert. That's why you came to us, right? I wouldn't go and start working on the electrical in my home because I'm not an electrician. Now, I may know how to change a fuse or change a light bulb. It's not my responsibility to go wire the home, right? So that's kind of the approach that we take with our businesses. Yes, you could do it on your own. I'm going to teach you how to do it on your own, so that it's fully transparent exactly what we are doing. But at the end of the day, you come to us just like we go to you for your expertise. And
Yeah.
so that's what we try to present during the conversation.
Very good. I would love to switch gears a little bit and talk about you as a leader in the company a little bit. Maybe you can tell me, how would you describe your role or the goal of your role? Is there like a certain KPI? Is there a vision, a mission that you set yourself?
So when I first started Digital 1010, I actually came from a rather large agency, and I worked with huge CPG brands, Coca-Cola, Reynolds America, Snyder's Lance, the list goes on and on.
Mhm.
And when I first started the business, my goal was to teach people that you can have these big business marketing strategies for your small business
Mhm.
and still excel, right? It's not necessarily, you don't need to necessarily hire a huge marketing firm to get great ideas, to get excellent work. And that's really what my premise has been. We hire subject matter experts. My goal has always been to be a leader, but not somebody who is a dictator. I don't want to tell my guys how they should do things. I want them to tell me and challenge me on why my recommendation may not be right. As a strategist, that's my responsibility. As a business owner, it's my responsibility to hold my both my clients accountable for their actions and for the things that they are asking us for, and for my team that they are providing the best possible work that we can do. Because again, all of us came from big business backgrounds. None of us really wanted to be held to that specific, hey, you only work with huge Fortune 500 companies. Because while it's great to see, Coca-Cola does well and they reintroduce Mellow Yellow to the market, or we, introduce Camel Snooze, or whatever the scenario might have been back then,
Mhm.
it's always better for me to kind of see a small business who has one operation grow into two, or a small enterprise, they own two or three businesses and they're looking to scale, and now all of a sudden they have 10 businesses, and or they're looking to franchise, and we've helped them get there. For me, that's where I see value, because it touches more local. It's not necessarily one of those things where you get the big budgets, because some small businesses don't have that. But you know what? We still try to give them that level of expertise that they really need, um, and we don't charge extra for it.
Very cool. Um, I would be curious, what's the type of content that you consume? Is there like, yeah, what's your go-to way if you're educating yourself further?
So there's a couple of things. Obviously, I always look for other coaches who've done it bigger and better than me, right? So, there's obviously lots of different people, and I don't necessarily need to name drop to know that, but there are lots of places that I go. CXL Institute is a great place to go and learn about marketing.
Mhm.
It's, again, when you go onto social media, you see a lot of people there trying to sell you on their coaching. My recommendation, and what I've done for myself, is to go to people who actually can prove their experience, not somebody who shows you a whole bunch of numbers, and tells you, oh, we had this potential client, and then you see the same ad from somebody else who's used the same image, because it's a stock image. So you've got to be very careful about that. And while there are lots of people who want to give their information, you just have to be really selective about who you learn from.
Yeah. What's a topic that you recently researched?
CRO, I'm actually in a mind degree right now for NCXL Institute for CRO,
Mhm.
just because it's one of those things that it's always evolving. Conversion rate optimization is always evolving, and it touches every aspect of marketing. So whether you are a traditional marketer, whether you are a digital marketer, you need to know how to test what it is that you're marketing.
Very good. Since we're coming to an end of the interview, I would like to jump into the rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Yeah,
It's usually one word or one sentence answer. Feel free
cool.
to use your boundaries there. So for your company, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the word marketing operations?
Um, Process oriented.
Mhm. What comes to mind when I say sales operations?
Hmm. People oriented.
Mhm. What's the one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Growth and optimization.
Mhm. If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be one thing that you want to have fixed for your clients today?
Their automation processes.
I think you're the first one who actually takes it as a one-word answer, so I like it. Really good.
Because I mean, honestly, you think about it and you start to say, okay, you know, your sales process, right? And sales is very much so a people-oriented position. We hired a sales manager and he had no idea about marketing,
Mhm.
like literally no clue. And it's not his job to know about marketing. It's his job to know about the position that he's in, how to sell, right? So we can teach him how to market and what to say, but we don't need him to do that. We have people to go and pull those triggers. We have all of those other expertise. So if you're a salesperson and you don't have a personality, it becomes a hard conversation, and that's not something that we want. So that, when I start to think about rapid fire, it's like very to the point. Got to get matter of fact.
We got two more rapid fire questions. So,
Cool.
what's the last thing that kept you awake at night about your company?
What's going on in the market right now, with COVID-19, and honestly, the effect that it's had on all of my customers' businesses. Because again, we try to help a lot of service providers. So, just seeing the amount of stress that they go through puts a little bit on me as well.
Yep. And the very last question, if this would be your first day starting Digital 1010, what would be one advice that you would give yourself?
Go fast and don't listen to anybody else.
Very good.
Because I think a lot of time, when you're starting a business, it's a lot of you, and you listen to a lot of other people that don't really know about what you're going through, about the business that you're in. So while it's great to have their recommendation, trust your instinct.
Yeah, very good. Michael, I really appreciate that you took the time to tell us all about what you guys are doing and with Digital 1010, and also your personal way to grow and to educate yourself, and also how you're thinking about the website conversion and how conversion rate is a very central topic for yourself as well. So thanks for being part of today's episode.
Lucas, thank you so much for inviting me. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I look forward to speaking with you in the future.